Hi, everybody. My name is Shawnee, and I'm here today to talk to you about domestic violence and assault within the Yankton Sioux Tribal Reservation. Domestic violence and assault is not just limited to physical harm, but it also includes threats surrounding physical, emotional, sexual, and financial harm. And typically, this violence is contained to intimate relationships and family members. So, a little bit about the Yankton Sioux tribe. It translates to the people at the end village. The Yankton Sioux Tribe Reservation is located in southeastern South Dakota by the Missouri River, and the headquarters it's located in Wagner, South Dakota. Just like all tribes, they have their own government and tribal court system. So a little bit about violence within this community. So some people blame the culture that they're violent, but in truth, the issues started a long time ago when the Native Americans suffered many losses, such as their land was taken from them. People tried to destroy their traditions, and they forced their children into boarding schools. And all of this caused something called historical trauma and generational pain. The hurt and the stress from years and years of these people suffering has made it easier for violence and substance abuse to just continue in their community. And in addition to this, there's many risk factors that lead to vicious cycles. And this vicious cycle just needs to be broken. Some of the risk factors would be like limited resources and legal barriers, substance abuse, and lack of rehab centers and counselors, therapists, doctors. And this leads to dysfunctional homes, again, adding to the vicious cycle. So the Yankton Sioux tribal courts handle cases for the tribal members on the reservation, but one of the big issues is that for many years, the tribal courts were not allowed to punish non-Native American people that would come onto the reservation and hurt their own tribal people. This meant that often, like, these people were often not Native Americans. They would come in and commit like terrible acts of violence and even murder, and they would often walk away free. The justice system was just tied up by outside laws, making it almost impossible for them to protect their own people. While there's new laws like the Violence Against Women Act that's helped give back some power to the tribes, these systems still struggle with not having enough money or resources or staff to keep people safe and to get justice. The high rates of physical and sexual violence have terrible effects on everybody in the community. Victims are left with serious physical injuries and emotional damage. They can have years, even a lifetime worth of emotional trauma, like PTSD. And there's many people that will turn to substance abuse, like drugs and alcohol, as a desperate way to cope and try to stop the pain from the trauma. So another way that the cycle just continues is these children grow up in homes where they see violence and they're learning a painful lesson. They're much more likely to grow up to be victims or even abusers themselves. These children lose their childhood. Domestic violence severely interferes with a child's development, taking away their safety and security, and it's forcing them to focus on like survival mode instead of growing up in a stable home. This can grow anger and resentment, leading to violence as they grow. So what are some things that we can do to fix the situation or heal the situation? Well, I feel like the tribal courts need to get money and authority that they need to fully protect their own people from anyone outside of the reservation who comes in and commits crimes and harm on tribal land. And I think that if we brought back the Native American culture and traditions, this would help these people to be more compliant with the available resources, and also for not just emergency housing, but long-term housing and counseling and addiction treatment. And the people that are there providing care, to ensure that they understand their culture and their history, and that they're non-judgmental. I think that just making sure that abusers face consequences will help eliminate future violence. And as far as my discussion questions, I would like to for you to tell me 2 specific changes you think would most improve prevention of domestic violence within the Yankton Sioux tribe community, and how would you implement these changes? Thank you.